1 2 1 2 1 2. There we go. Mic's working. Hello everybody, welcome to Hobby Hangout. Big Nerds Wargaming. My name is Sam. Tonight, I am painting some Imperial Knights infantry. But Imperial Knights don't have infantry, you say? Well, they're going to be Imperial agents. Counts as Voidsmen at Arm. Because I have a 2,000 point list of knights that I'm taking to a tournament on Saturday. And I have a 5-man unit Voidsmen at Arms sized hole in my list. So I printed up these Royal Guard knight infantry from Station Forge. They're just guardsmen, but with like a semi-feudal world vibe to them. So these are what I'm going to be using for Voidsmen at Arms. Just turn down that music just a hair. Can't hear myself think. Alright, yeah, so I've already painted up 4 of these guys. Just need to finish some final details on them. Like I'm doing a little bit of freehand on the shoulder pauldrons for House Griffith. So I need to do that in them, but I have one more guy I need to paint, which is this one. So I'm going to paint him on stream tonight. So I'm pretty much just mirroring the scheme on my House Griffith knights themselves. And it's been working out pretty well. So we will carry on that scheme. So I'm going to be using Rhinox hide for the their pants, like their Under Armour garb. Get that base coat down, and then we'll move on to the armor. So I'm just going to grab a normal size brush for that. Get some of that Rhinox hide on my palette. And we are all set. Hope everyone's having a lovely week. For those of you joining in the future, after the stream has gone up, I do this usually every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to catch it live, you can find me there. Also, we do videos usually every other week. They range from painting to battle reports to crafting, all things mini wargaming. So if that's your kind of thing, consider subscribing. Alright, so I'm just going to apply the Rhinox hide all over on the under garb. Try to be a little neat, but I'm not going to worry about it too much because I'll just kind of touch up the spots I miss or mess up. It's just the first layer after all. But the less I get on the armor, the better, because the armor is a really light color, and covering up Rhinox hide is the dark color, so that's going to be a little trickier to fix. So the less I have to fix, the better. So let's get down in here under his neck. So he's wearing a whole body glove. Try to get these pants underneath this tabard. So last week I was working on Rebute Gilliman for Golden Demon. I haven't made any progress since last stream on him, but I will be picking him up shortly. These models here I'm painting kind of jumped the queue because I need them for this weekend for tournament. But I will be likely resuming Gilliman next week. If not before then. Because I need to get him painted up for Adepticon, and I'd like to get him done sooner ahead of schedule. So I'm not painting him down to the last day. And that way I have time to make adjustments and fix things if I don't like the way it looks. Is that Guardsman with a Power Fist? Yes, it is. I was saying earlier, probably before you hopped on, these are going to be Voidsmen at Arms, Imperial agents, because my Imperial Knights list has like a 70-point hole in it, and I filled it with a 5-man squad of Voidsmen at Arms, and I need them for a tournament, so these are Royal Guard infantry from Station Forge that I printed up, 5-man squad, and I'm just kind of painting them similar to my knights, so they'll be House Griffith, House Militia, but they'll count as Voidsmen at Arms for the rules. But they're pretty cool models. I like the color scheme, thank you. Yeah, the color scheme is pretty much an exact copy of the Knight color scheme for my Knight's army. Just on a person instead of a big armature war suit. But yeah, these are really cool models. I was kind of looking for an excuse to print them because I really like the Royal Guard design. They'd be perfect for like a feudal world guard regiment. Yeah, so I'm taking a little break from Gilliman while I'm painting up these guys. I need them for this weekend for a tournament I'm playing. Take the AOS plunge this weekend. Really enjoying the models. Ooh, nice. Yeah, AOS has some really cool models. I think that would be the only reason why I would take that plunge. I don't know. I'm not super excited about the lore. I played the last edition of AOS a game or two. I wasn't like super into it, but maybe I don't know, maybe it was the mission, my opponent, the army, I don't know. I wasn't really into it, but yeah, I know a lot of people really do like it though. What army are you gonna collect? Alright, so now I'm going to take Rackarth Flesh and just kind of go over the spots in the armor where I got the Rhinox hide on there. That way it'll be easier to cover up once I go over the final coat of Wraithbone. Got a starter set, some Stormcast and Skaven. Ah, yes. Leaning towards the Stormcast at the moment. I might get a few of the Spearhead boxes and try different things before settling. Nice. That's something that really caught my own. The size of the Stormcast is appealing. Yeah, they're pretty cool looking. You like Space Marines? Space Marines in fantasy setting. I don't know. The Age of Sigmar lore. I kind of had a hard time following it / getting excited about it. I'm also still upset about them killing the old world. I know it's been like 10 years, but I really enjoyed that setting. I know it's back with the old world now, but it's not quite the same. It's not a first-class citizen like Warhammer Fantasy was. Just gonna cover up these plates here with the Rakarth flesh, where I got the Ranax hide on there. So it'll cover up nice and easy. Just gonna cover the whole plate so it's consistent. And we had some up here, so like around his neck here. On the shoulder pauldron. And here are the glaring spots. Here, this elbow piece, we'll have that be bone colored as well. Clean up on the tabard a little bit. Come back around front here. I can still see some of that Ranax hide, so I'm gonna go over it again. Just really clean up that base coat with Rakarth flesh. And I'm also gonna touch up on the helmet. Got a little bit on this side too. There we go. For the armpit. I think I got all the big spots there. The old world piqued my interest for a minute. I wasn't really into the rehash of something I had trouble getting into when I was new. Yeah. I would maybe play Old World because I still have some Lizardmen and Empire models. They need a little bit of rebasing for the new game rules, but yeah, that could be fun. Especially those new Empire models they released look pretty cool. So that was one of the armies I played for fantasy. Alright, I'm gonna go right onto the armor now. Get that base coat down. We're using Wraithbone for that. Let's get some Wraithbone on my wet palette here. Clean it out with some water. Some water. And we'll start painting on the armor. The air down here is really dry. It's winter. Winter weather is not friendly to the painter. But last week I got a new 3D printer. Got the Bamboo Lab A1. And it is pretty impressive. I'm actually going to be doing a little video about it. Should be coming out hopefully this Friday. I know I haven't done a video in a while. My posting schedule is slowed down a little bit. Starting a new job recently and just kind of changes to my schedule, so kind of getting back in the groove of things. And on top of that, I've been doing a lot of hobby work on painting Gilliman and just other responsibilities. But I like to get back into the rhythm of things. Hopefully get back on the bi-weekly posting schedule. Maybe more, if time allows. But just kind of rolling with it. For the time being. So he's got like Wraithbone colored armor and Wraithbone colored tabard, and so I have to make those look like two different materials even though they're the same color. So I think I'm going to do that with washes, because I did it on the other guys behind this one and it worked out pretty well. Like you can see here, the tabard we did a wash of Seraphim Sepia, and the armor we kind of did like a recess shade with Agrax Earth Shade. So they look like they're the same color but different materials. So that's what I'm gonna do on this guy here. But yeah, these Royal Guard models are pretty sweet. Kind of makes me want to do a feudal world regiment, or at least get like a couple squads of House Griffith, House Militia with them. Let's look at the shoulder pads. The scheme is a little tricky with the light and the dark. Dark on the inner and light on the outer. Because normally I would do the light armor first with like an airbrush and dry brushing, kind of build it up that way. But because I need to get on these little recesses, I had to start with the inner armor. So that means I have to brush on the outer armor, brushing on these light colors. So just have to do thin coats and take it easy. Maybe we'll do like a checkered pattern on his fist. That could be fun. Maybe the fingers. Probably layer in some lead belcher, dark silver. And that power fist, the hand. But the outer casing, I think, will have this bone color. Seeing some spots I missed. The Rhinox hide. So I'm just going to carefully come in here. Fill that in. Again on the other side. Just try to get that wraith bone everywhere. It's kind of hard to get behind his power backpack here. Fortunately, this model didn't really come in a sub-assembly, just the arms were separate and the head. But it'd be nice if the pack detached as well. So then I'd be easier to paint the whole model, but just gonna have to work around that. Which dictionary are you getting that definition of fun from? What did I say was fun? I already lost track. Painting checkers. Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. The final the outcome will be fun. No, I think we can find a way to make it fun. Where's your sense of adventure? Ooh, that's a very thin coat. Duncan would be proud. I'm too old. I've had my adventures. Well, if you ever think you're too old, remember, Frodo Baggins left the Shire when he was like 60. In the books, of course, not the films. I'm not a hobbit. Fair enough. I think being a hobbit wouldn't be so bad, though. Just kind of hang out, garden, party, eat, read, Smoke pipeweed. Checker patterns have always given me fits. Yeah, I don't do checker patterns often. They are very tricky. I also have a little bit of freehand I have to do for the emblem. I don't know if I showed you that, but I did a little bit of freehand for the House Griffith logo here. And half of an Aquila. Nothing too fancy, just kind of suggesting the shape. Yeah, I'd like to do a couple squads of these guys, but they'd kind of take a while to paint. I got a good jump start on them over the weekend because I had Monday off from work for a holiday, which is nice. So I took advantage of that time off and painted 4 of them, mostly complete. This is dry on his knee, so I can come back around for another coat. Let that dry. Let's take a look here. I think I need some more on the chest. Come in for another pass here. Yeah, when I get these guys painted up, and I want to get Gilliman painted up because I also will have a bunch of Krieg new models I want to get working on. And then the Eldar. Oh, the Eldar. Those new Phoenix Lords and Aspect Warrior models are very nice looking. I want to get some Fire Drakes. Maybe the Falcon, Swooping Hawk guy, Phoenix Lord. I forget his name. Also do the banner here, and I might have some extra decals from my knights that I made. I might have one that fits here. If so, that would be great. Nicely done. Shape as well as suggested. Oh, thank you. That's probably in response to the freehand work. A little behind on catching up on chat. Alright. Just gotta do a little bit more on the legs. I can still see those undercoats. Do one more pass. Cover that up as best as possible. I'm having a hard time keeping a tip on this brush. I think it's the dry air. It kind of like makes the bristles. And I'm used to being in there. I was married. Ugh. Tough crowd tonight. Alright. It's good. Capri Sun. Alright, Mechanicus Standard Gray. We'll do for the gloves and the boots. I try to be supportive. And one of my jokes flops. Nothing but tears. They're there. Alright, so we're going to do Mechanicus Standard Gray on the boots. Get painting so we have something to celebrate. Aye aye. That is the plan. According to YouTube, we have 8 people watching us. Hello. Oh, 7. I shouldn't have said anything. Has everyone gotten a chance to see the Eldar model reveals? Let me know what you think of them. I think they look pretty sweet. I'm excited. Don't scare them off. Yeah. I didn't mean to. Yes, you there in the back. Yes, you. I've not seen them yet. Hold on, BRB. Wow, you haven't seen the Eldar models. They've revealed them with the, While you're at it, check out the Emperor's Children. Those guys are gnarly looking. They would be a fun Chaos Army. I also like the World Eaters, though. Like, just the simplicity of them. They're angry. They're corn. They want to kill. Simple as that. But yeah, I'm excited. There's a new Eldar Codex coming out soon. They just revealed that in the Sunday preview. There's a new Guard Codex coming out. Exciting, fun times for Eldar and Guard players. which happens to be me. I'm both of that now. Alright, got the boots painted. Hand will be orifice, that'll be metal. But this will be a gloved hand. It'll be Mechanicus standard gray. This is a good gray to use for like body gloves and anything that would be like a rubber material. I use this on my Gene Sealer Cult infantry for their gloves and boots. It's a nice warm gray, and it takes washes really well. So I'm gonna be darkening this up with Nuln oil in a second here. But before I do that, we're gonna go in with some lead belcher. Alright, let's get some lead belcher out and do some details on the gun and the fist, as well as some of the little spots on its armor. What's on everyone's hobby desk this week? What are you working on? Let me know. I always like to hear what people are painting these days. Okay, those Eldari models look wicked cool. Yes, they do. Stormcast Eternals. Yes, nice. Yeah, the Warp Spider's Phoenix Lord. I forgot her name, but she's like warping in, and like the energy is coming out. That's a really cool model. Really cool. But the new Fire Drakes look really good. You know, it's just it's about time, because Eldar needed some love. Earlier last year, I finished up a unit of 5 of the old Warp Spiders, and I did them specifically because I knew new ones would probably be coming out, and I was right. And I knew that once the new ones came out, I wouldn't want to paint the old ones. So I just kind of got them out of the way to make way. Not painting, but building Dark Angels Patrol Box and Aggressors for my Salamander's Crusade Force. Oh, very cool. Crusade is a lot of fun. I'm running a local Crusade league in my area. I just appreciate people painting stuff. Here, here. Yeah. Unfortunately, The seas of gray plastic on the tabletop is far too common of a sight. I have a personal rule of not fielding anything that's unpainted. Really helps me make sure I get stuff done. Sam paints well, even with a bunch of drops of water on his brush. Shh. I totally meant to do that. It catches me every time, and then it like runs down the brush, and then just makes a big watercolor mess. Every time. I think I just get lucky. We're going to do a two-tone metal on the gun here. Going to get some silver and brass. So yeah, these could be just boring Voidsmen at Arms, but I mean, if they're going to be a Knight's army, they should look like they belong in a Knight's army. That's why I love the Imperial agents. They're so proxyable. Get this servo joint here on the elbow. There's power fist, and we'll do the fingers. Silver as well. Leave the outer armor on the fist our bone color. The children, yes, Empress children. Not a fan of the pink-purple scheme. You know, I think it could be a bit hard to pull off, but I think that they do a really good job. That studio scheme, they look really cool. But yeah, that's the thing with Emperor's Children. You could like paint them whatever you want, so long as it's loud and proud. And obnoxious, because that's what they're all about. I'm gonna paint this part of his face mask Rhinox, or not Rhinox hide, Mechanicus gray. I'll also do the front piece here, Lead Belcher silver. Starting to come together. Starting to look like a model. That's exciting. All right. What's next? Oh, I missed some spots over here on this leg. I got ahead of myself. Got carried away. Alright, let's get out the brass scorpion, I think. Maybe I'll do the backpack too. I'll do the backpack first. That's just gonna be warp lock bronze. Nice dark brown metallic. So, do the stream every week on Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central Time. Usually for about 2 or 3 hours, depending on the model. And, you know, want to roll or not, all that good stuff. So, yeah, be sure to check us out every week. And, in addition to painting, I do wargaming related videos, usually every other week. Battle reports, painting, or terrain crafting, hobby talk, all that good stuff. All things mini wargaming. So, if that's your thing, subscribe. Check them out. We have fun here. We don't take it too seriously. Let's get the warp lock bronze, or the old 10 bits. I remember the old 10 bits. Water that down just a bit. And I'm just going to apply this all over the backpack here. Very careful not to get it on the white armor. Or bone-colored armor, I should say. It's not quite white. It's like an off-white. This brush is not very accurate, so I must be careful. I don't like using my nice brushes for metallics if I can avoid it, because they seem to be harder on the bristles. It's a power fist cable. It's kind of hard to navigate. I really wish this backpack came off. Ooh, I see something. There is some undergarment that I did not paint. Because I am looking at an angle I did not see before. Right up there under in the armpit. That won't do. Let's go fix that real quick. There you go. Crisis averted. Now where was I? Ah, yes, backpack. I won't be able to fully cover the back of it, but that's okay. You can't really see it anyways. So I'm not going to stress about it. Besides, this squad is like 70 points, and they'll probably get obliterated in like one shooting phase from a battle line unit, so they won't be on the table long anyways. I'm painting in a bit of a time box here because I need these guys battle ready by Saturday for a tournament for my Imperial Knights. So, done is better than perfect. Words to live by. Rip. Yeah, let's see. How many old Citadel paints can we remember? There was a Bolt Gun Metal, the classic, Blood Red, Scab Red, Enchanted Blue, Chainmail. Chainmail is one of them. Ice Blue. Goblin Green, of course. Bad Moon Yellow. Yes. Gene Stealer Purple. No, that's actually that's a modern day Citadel one. Bestial Brown. Remember that one. Gotta rehydrate my palette here. Blood Angels Red. Yes. Didn't they have Ultramarines Blue? Which is kind of funny because now they call it McCrag Blue. Which I guess still works for the Ultramarines, but it's not quite as on the nose. Alright, Brass Scorpion is next. Dark Angels Green, yep. Although that's a contrast paint now, too. Here it is. Dark Angels Green. What's old is new. Brass Scorpion. Oh, the inks, yeah. There's like brown ink. The inks weren't as exciting. Excitingly named, that is. Yeah, back before we had Agrax, Earthshade, and Nuln Oil. We had to ink things. I feel like washes were a really good evolution of wargaming paints. And then I think contrast paint being the next big leap. It just unlocks a whole bunch of different stuff you can do. Under shading and whatnot. so we got some browns there. Back to the pistol. We're going to do browns on the tip here. Browns up here. I think the quality of painting has gone a long way to improving various mediums, and companies work to provide better paints, better painters. Yeah, I agree. I know Army Painter has come a long way. Their paints are actually like really good now. There's been some real competition in like the miniature paint companies now. I mean, I do like Citadel paints; they're good, but there are a lot of really good third-party companies that make some really good stuff. Pro Acryl. I still can't say it correctly. Pro Acryl. Turbo Dork. Alright, paint that on the chest, and we'll get the brass on these filters on his helmet here. Maybe we'll do these decorations here on this pole in brass, and we'll do the pole in lead belcher for the little banner. Get this little guy up here in brass. Hey Sam, little Sam here. Curious what paintbrushes you're using. Ah, hey Sam. I am using Reaper Miniatures sable brushes. These are fairly cheap. I'm using Reaper and Citadel brushes, but yeah. If you're looking for a good sable brush, that's fairly cheap and affordable, check out Reaper Miniatures. They have some good brushes for the cheap. I know the game store, the Gamers Realm, they sell them. We can get them online too. Probably shouldn't say local store names. I don't want to dox myself. Existing brushes started the phrase. I'm looking to pick up some new ones. Definitely look into it. Yeah. Also, if you have any of this like brush soap, it's really good for cleaning and kind of conditioning the bristles. Help them from fraying. I use that a lot I was doing lead belcher. Actually, I should say I should use it more, but like after each painting session, if you clean all your brushes out that way, and you can like reshape them so they keep a tip, and it just helps get all the paint gunk out of them. But yeah, if you don't have a good brush, then you're gonna struggle painting. Okay. Just gonna do some secondary details on the pack here in lead belcher just to kind of break up that dark bronze. These panels here, we'll do lead belcher. These air vents here on the side, we'll do a lead belcher. It's got some hoses here, we'll pick those out in silver. Just to vary that out a little bit. And get down here. And same on the other side of the pack. Alright, we're almost ready to start doing some washes and really take this to the next level here. It's kind of got like a fancy belt. That'll be leather. He's also got like these sashes. Maybe we'll do that in blue, red. He's kind of like the squad leader after all. Leather. I was doing in Steel Legion drab. I like my Winsor Newton brushes. Ooh, fancy. Yeah, I should probably invest in a set of really nice brushes. For how much I paint. Alright. Do some leather details, and I'll start doing some washes. So we'll get the belt here. Nice light brown leather belt. I love these models. These are so cool. I just love how well they work for Warhammer. Station Forge makes some pretty good proxies, that's for sure. At $5 a brush, I'm not gonna argue. I don't know the top line brushes, but every man brushes have done me well. Oh, okay. When I hear Winsor Newton, I think of like the high end. I'll have to check out their brushes. You had a good suggestion, David, on the Pro Acryl metallics. I've been pretty happy with those, so maybe I'll check out those Winsor Newtons. we got some, there's like a leather strap coming down the pant leg, connecting the armor. And I get those with this light brown color. There we go. Strap there, but there's not a strap on the other arm. That's kind of silly. Yeah. Oh, I see some more cleanup I need to do. There we go. Much better. Alright, next I am going to do the trim on his armor and gauntlets with brass scorpion. Ever so carefully. Gonna have to probably come back in here and touch this up. Gotta get the underside. Oh, God, I feel like I'm painting Space Marines here. And we'll get the skull on his power fist. Painting trim can kind of be a pain. But the end is in sight. Well, I got the smaller brush out. I'm going to try to do some armor painting here with the Wraith Bone. Just try to get in there a little bit better. Kind of tie it all together with some Agrax Earthshade. Oh, I slipped. I slipped bad. Time is my Achilles heel at the moment, especially with Deathwatch. With every shoulder pad has a different one. Oh yeah. Ah! What have I done? Alright. Let's fix this real quick. Well, you know, the more trim you do, the better you get at it. Alright. That looks good. I think I'm going to start doing some washes now. And we'll come back and do the rest. We'll start with Agrax Earthshade. Alright, so I go over all the dark brown with this just to kind of get any of the little cracks I missed with the paint. Be careful not to get it on the armor though. Just gonna kind of carefully add some shade on that undergarment. Back here on these legs, could use a good shade. This is nice because it'll kind of get into all those cracks with the lighter undercoat, and you won't see these little white specks kind of showing through here and there because the shade will go in there and fill it in. Shade's also great for when you have two materials that come and meet. It'll kind of create a little outline where they meet, and it'll look cleaner. We'll see that in a second here. You just get this belt. I'm going to go all around this backpack with the Agrax Earthshade. Just kind of dulling up that metallic. Just a little bit. Make it a little dirty. There you go. The gun will do a non oil. Now I'm going to take a small brush, really thin brush, and we're going to do some recess shading on the armor. Really add some definition to make this pop. I'm going to take this thin brush and I'm just going to kind of follow along these creases, like under his chest plate here. And then we got like along these things here on his chest where the hoses connect. Gonna add some recess shading there. I'm looking at this more and I see there's some brass I missed on his chest emblem. Let me just get that real quick. Let's use the same small brush. There we go. I'll let that brass dry and I'll go back in there and do some recess shading with the Agrax Earthshade. But while that's drying, I'll just continue going around. We'll get all these little rivets. Just kind of carefully trace around. Because this shade is nice and flowy, it'll kind of naturally gather in the crack. So I don't have to be super accurate here. And we'll kind at these eye sockets, I guess. I might go back and paint the eyes a different color. Maybe like an orange or something. And then there's like some nice hard lines on the helmet. So I'm just gonna pick those out with the shade. Pretty much anywhere where I see something kind of jutting out of the armor and there's a nice crease. It's a good candidate for some recess shading. Now another approach you can do is just go around everywhere with the shade. Then you have to go back and kind of layer back in that base coat color, which works, but kind of get a slightly dirtier look. It's a little bit more time consuming. I think a little bit more precise recess shade will look better. It just requires a little bit more precision, but the time you save, I think, is still greater than just going with an all-around shade and then relayering again. So kind of taking the shade here and getting it in the crease where the trim meets the shoulder pad. That just makes it look so much better. And then we got on the hands here. A little bit of recess shade and some highlights really make things pop. Get that nice stark contrast. Oh, I see some of his glove I didn't paint. Just get that real quick with Mechanicus Standard Gray. There we go. And we'll come around to the Power Fist side. We'll get the leg armor, the Agrax Earthshade, skip by the feet a little bit too. Okay. Next, I'm gonna bust out the Nuln Oil. I'm gonna shade the Lead Belcher and the Mechanicus Standard Gray. And the pistol. Alright, so Lead Belcher. We'll also get the face mask up here. Yeah, so anywhere where I have silver, it's going to get the Lead Belcher treatment. Ooh, yeah, that looks good. I like that. Back here, the pistol, Lead Belcher all around. Get his glove here. With the Lead Belcher. And down here on his boots. Add some visual interest. So we don't have just flat colors everywhere. We'll also get the some of the cloth around him. We'll do that with Seraphim Sepia. Nice, gentler color, not as intense as the Agrax Earthshade. And I want this to read as cloth and not armor with the tabard. So this other shade, I think, will kind of separate these two materials, even though they're the same painted color. Alright. Before I do the banner, I'm gonna see if I have a decal that'll fit that. I printed some decals. For House Griffith. And I think I do have one that will work. It's a little dragon. I printed these on my laser printer on some decal paper, but the funny thing about that is these only work if you put them over something that's white, because kind of didn't realize at the time, but regular desktop laser printers don't print the color white because the paper is white. So these transfers are transparent, and then it prints all the colors over that. So kind of limited on what I can do with decals. But we can do this one here because this is a nice light color underneath it, and it'll look just fine. I need something to soak this decal in. This base will work. Ooh, I can use my new I picked up some there they are. Micro Soul and Micro Set. It's supposed to make decals really easy. And you use them in tandem. So let's see here. Brush Micro Set on the model where the decal is to be applied. Then dip the decal in water and slide off the backing paper into the position model. And carefully brush more Micro Set on the top of the decal. Wait a few minutes for the decal to soften. Then press the decal down with the piece of moist paper towel. Repeat as necessary, or use Micro Soul for more decal softening strength. Interesting. Setting solution, and okay, so we tried the Micro Set first, but let me get some water in here. Let this decal here start working. But Micro Set. Just gonna get some of that on my brush, and we'll put it on the banner up here. This stuff is supposed to be pretty good for like Space Marine shoulder pads to help the decal kind of conform to the curved surface. So I'm looking forward to using it when I go back to my Space Marines. Alright, so the decal is coming off of the transfer here. So I'm gonna get this on my brush if I can. And we're gonna get that in there. That's looking like it's working. It's cool. Trying to wick away some of this excess water here. Now this is where the micro sole I think is supposed to come in handy, and gonna kind of help that decal conform to the surface it's on. Yeah, while it's soaking in here, I can kind of position it. Just wick away some of that excess. Beautiful. Let's take a closer look at that. If you can't quite make the curves, you can make a few relief cuts with a brand new X-Acto blade. Oh yeah, I've done that too. That kind of lets it like fold a little bit. But yeah, this is working really well. You can see it just like completely slid right into those curves on the banner. Well, color me impress. Yeah, that's what the micro set, or yeah, micro. I get them mixed up. The blue one, or the red one. That looks rad, man. Thank you. Yes, we'll just let that dry. And while that's drying, I'll just move on to some other stuff. The Siliconum Gray. These models are by a creator called Station Forge. They make good Deathcore Krieg proxies called Grim Guard, but they have some other lines of troops. These are Royal Guard, so they're kind of like feudal world style Imperial Guardsmen. So I'm using them as proxies for Voidsmen at Arms for my Imperial Knights army. I need a squad of 5 of them for a tournament I'm playing on Saturday. So I'm gonna proxy these guys as Voidsmen at Arms for Imperial agents. They're really cool. So they're House Griffith, House Militia. Yeah, Station Forge has some really cool stuff. Really good Warhammer, Grimdark proxies. In fact, most of my Deathcore Krieg army, the infantry at least, are all Station Forge models. Because A, it's cheaper, and B, I think they look really cool. And then I can just, get like the GW tanks and stuff. Because I do like the GW tank designs for Imperial Guard. but their infantry varies enough in the lore. I think you can kind of get away with anything you wanted, really. Like, you can make a bunch of these guys and they'd be a feudal world regiment. I made knights. They look great. Light color schemes are tricky. They are, yeah. Yeah, on my big knights, the airbrush was definitely a friend for getting those painted up. If you're curious, I do have a video on my channel where I show how I painted House Griffith Knight Armiger. Kind of walk through that with the airbrush and all the steps. Knights are fun. Alright, Silicon Gray is done. Let's get some reds and blues going. And then I just gotta do some highlights and little details here and there, like that checker patterning I was talking about. See if I get around to that. But I'll just get a red out, nice bright red, Evil Sun Scarlet. We'll do some of the trim on the tabard with that, and on the banner. Then we'll use a blue, like it's using Altdorf Guard blue. It's kind of a nice, vibrant light blue. Thank you. Just gonna kind of touch up a little bit on the bottom of this kneecap. The Agrax Earthshade wash got a little high there. That's much better. Okay. So the Evil Sun Scarlet, I'm gonna make some water, get it nice and thin, blah blah blah. All that good stuff. I'm just gonna carefully go around here and pick out the trim on the tabard. Very carefully. You have to be careful so I don't get it on the white armor. That'd be a total disaster. Really get that trim. You can see some of it in between his legs, so I'm gonna try to get that too. I'm not going to sweat it too much though because it's a hard angle to see. Get the up here in red. The bottom part of the banner. Maybe those tassels we should do like metallic or something. Just make them a little extra fancy. Do another coat on the back of these leg armor pieces. Well, I got the paint on my palette. Just lighten that up a little bit. That's looking good. Alright, let's try this. Do I want to try a checker pattern on the fist? I may regret this. Maybe I'll do a chevron. That might be easier than checkers. I like that. That works. I can get this guy to stay in focus. And the shoulder pad, we're going to do half in red. Just trying to get a nice straight line here. Then we're also going to do red on the shins here, halfway. So this is the scheme that my big knights have for their coloring. So I'm just kind of replicating that on the infantry here. So they look nice and cohesive with the army. I like it. Alright, so now we're gonna do the blue. So it's gonna be Altdorf Guard blue. citadel. We're gonna do this knee pad here. We're also gonna do this sash on his belt. I'll leave the tassels. We'll do those in like a metallic gold or something. Come back in for a second coat here. Some good coverage. And then on the other shoulder pad, we're going to do half of this one blue in the front. Just going to bisect that in half. Get that one painted up. And we'll get some metallic. Let's do maybe like we'll do Canaptic alloy. Kind of like a silvery bronze brass color. I feel like it shouldn't be gold for the tassels, because they are just infantry after all. Get these tassels up here on the banner. Very carefully. Don't want any paint on that white armor. A little bit on this pole I didn't get with the lead belcher. Let me just quickly get that. There we go. Alright. One little spot I missed up here. Cool. So now I'm gonna go back in with Agrax Earthshade, just do some recess shading here on the tabard. Just very carefully down here. Just kind of box in. Flag. We'll also go over the tassels with the Agrax Earthshade. Just kind of blend this all together back here. Little recess shade on the tabard. Really make that nice red to white transition line a little starker. There we go. So then next we're gonna do maybe some wash on that decal. Let me seal that up with some technical art coat. Just make sure that decal is nice and sealed up. Don't want that coming off. So I'm gonna mix in a little bit of water with some art coat. Technical paint. This will dry glossy, but I will go over it again with some matte varnish. I just want to make sure that this decal is nice and sealed in here and won't come free. So we'll just let this air dry here. I'll come back to it later. The eyes. I'm going to do the eyes real quick. We'll just do Troll Slayer Orange for that. Something real simple. There we go. And then we'll do some freehand work on the pauldrons. So I'm gonna need some Abaddon Black for that, for the dragon. I'm gonna put a little dragon on his shoulder and a little Aquila. I used a small brush for this. Little Army Painter Insane Detail it's called. Gotta make sure the Abaddon Black has a lot of water mixed into it. When you're doing fine detail, you kind of want it like thinner than you think, because these bristles on these brushes are so small. But we're gonna come in with a kind of get the shape of the dragon's body. Come in with the tail back here. We got the wing. And kind of got like a wing coming out over here. There's a head. It's kind of reaching forward. Got like this spear. I'm gonna try to clean up this black a little bit so it's a little bit more more certain. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of red. Got a little bit of red on the face, the claws, and the end of the tail here. So at a glance, it looks like a griffin, like the dragon symbol. And then over here we got half of an Aquila. So we're just gonna eagle wing out like this. We got an eagle head. We got a foot. Eh. It's a little messy, but it'll do. Some really simple freehand emblems. Wish I had a decal that small, but I don't. But I think it works. Yeah. And then lastly, we're going to take some Elthwan Gray and do some blue chevron, or some chevrons on the blue armor bits. So like here, we'll just do kind of a line across the kneecap. Oh, you know what? I did miss a step. I do want to shade the blue armor with some Leviathan, or Drakenhof Nightshade. It'll just kind of really add some tone to the blue. So I'll shade this upper pauldron up here too. A little bit too much blue there. I may try to wick some of this away. There we go. While that dries, I'm gonna take a look at some of these other ones. So that guy's got shade. This one could use a little bit of shade. This other one could use a little bit of shade. A little bit more shade. Alright, and I gotta paint some dragons on these other three guys. So we'll do that real quick. I might try to use a bigger brush. We'll see how well that works. Alright, so we got the S-like body shape. Come down to a foot. We have the tail. And we have dragon wings. You know, I think the slightly bigger brush is actually getting better results. Got the hand holding the spear, the dragon head. And then over here we have the Aquila. Half of the Aquila. A little bit of red details on the dragons. We got like the tail, claws, the head. Not too shabby. Alright, let's do it again 2 more times. Dragon body. Dragon wings. Dragon foot. Spear. Okay, that one's a little bit more rough. I'm starting to rush. It's a problem I have. I get impatient and I try to rush. Alright, last one for some freehanding here. See if I can do a better dragon this time around. Down. Tail. Wings. Head. Hand. Spear. And Aquila. It'll work. We'll get some chevrons on the blue here. Do another stripe across the kneecap. Little chevron there. Chevron there, and a stripe across the kneecap here. And then lastly, on this guy, a little chevron there. Alright, he's almost done. Just gotta do a little bit of null oil shading on the red, and then some highlights on the armor, and I think we can call him done. So I'm gonna do some null oil down here, null oil on the red too. Just a little bit. Back there. Okay. I like the way that looks, and I think that looks okay. That guy looks okay. So now we just gotta do some last minute highlights on the armor. Sup friends? What's up? Aquascape. And Francois Marion. I'm just going to highlight this armor with a new paint, Pro Acryl, Bright Ivory. I'm just wrapping up a squad of 5 Voidsmen at Arms. for my Imperial Knights. House Griffith. Nice. Yeah, these are Station Forge models I 3D printed over the weekend. And I did a lot of painting yesterday because I had off of work. But I have a tournament on Saturday. And these guys are in my list, so I have to get them battle ready for that. And I think I'm gonna make my deadline. I do some highlights now. Just highlights on these 4 guys, and then I think they're done. I just need to base them. So, just taking a really fine brush and that bright ivory. I'm gonna do some highlight some of this armor here. So like these nice sharp lines on the helmet. They highlight nice and easy. What printer do I got? I have an old Anycubic Mono 4K, and I also have a Anycubic Mono M5S. I know there's probably nicer resin printers you can get now, but it prints pretty well. Acceptable for me, so I could probably print them again with like lower layer heights for even higher resolution detail. I'm kind of curious because I haven't really tried to like see just how good of quality I could get with that printer, but yeah, it's not bad. I've been pretty happy with it. I've definitely got a lot of use out of it. And then I also have an FDM printer. I recently just got a Bamboo Lab A1, but I had an Anycubic one prior to that, and I sold it to a friend. So I kind of upgraded my FDM printer. Yeah, Station Forge, they make some good models. Usually all pre-supported. And the supports are actually pretty nice. Sometimes pre-supported models are a joke. And they're not properly supported. But that's not the case here. Alright, so quick highlights there. We'll highlight the rest of these 3 guys. Some highlights on the armor. Got the knee pad, the shin. Alright, looks good. I'm not gonna go crazy on these highlights everywhere. It's rare. I think these look pretty fine. But I got Bamboo P1S recently. Really liking it. Nice. I'm actually doing a video on 3D printers. It should be coming out this Friday. Talking about, you know, Bamboo Lab, PLA versus resin. You know, what kind of is the right choice for you for wargaming. I mean, obviously the answer for me is both, but you know. I see a lot of people printing miniatures on FDM. And I don't like it. They don't look good. I mean, yeah, the print quality is insane for a FDM printer, but yeah, don't print miniatures with them unless you're gonna do something like a Rhino tanker, you know, something really bulky. Then maybe, but like, yeah, I don't know. Terrain, yes, great for terrain. Not good for miniatures, though. I don't know. Do you print miniatures with your Bamboo Lab? I either smooth the hell out of my prints or leave them chunky looking. No in between. I agree with the terrain. Yeah. There's a ton of really good terrain out there. And being able to print it is awesome. The miniatures I printed some for my buddy, but didn't like the way they came out. Even with the 0.2 nozzle and low layer heights. Yeah, that's what I did too. While it looked like incredible for PLA, I printed. This is a spoiler alert, but my video I'm working on that's coming out this week. I printed the same miniature in resin and PLA with the 0.2mm nozzle, and like, it looks really good, but when you hold it next to the resin model, there's, you know, it's no competition, you know. You can't top that. Alright, so for the banner, I'm gonna go back and oops, that's airbrush thinner. I don't want that. Have a matte varnish somewhere. Here it is. We're gonna do a little bit of matte varnish. My paint desk is a complete mess right now. I have a bad habit of not putting colors back. I'm all nice and organized here. There, much better. Couple dabs of matte varnish, and we're going to put that on the banner. Make that shine go away from the hard coat. Alright, and now all we got left to do is base them. I might just throw some basing material on these guys and then we'll call it a night. And for that, I'm just gonna go and use some Vallejo diorama FX. I decided to stop buying the GW texture paint. Well, it's nice. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the price per liter is quite high in comparison to this stuff. I think these cost about the same. I could get one of these or one of these for about the same price. Just gonna spread this stuff around here. Some texture on the base. And then once this dries, I usually do like Agrax Earthshade and then like a dry brush of a lighter brown to kind of make it look a little bit more interesting. I might throw some grass on here. We'll see. My big knights have some grass on their base. But these guys I might not. Alright, one done. Yeah, this little trowel tool actually works pretty well. So don't gum up your good brushes. Or just use a crappy brush. Yeah, so next week I will probably be back to painting my Golden Demon entry for Adepticon this year. Rabute Gilliman. Just trying to see how well I can paint. Trying to paint him to the best of my ability. Just to see. Just for the experience. Plan is to submit that model to Golden Demon at Adepticon. Just kind of for the whole experience of it. But there's quite a bit left to paint on him. A lot of gold trim. Other details. I haven't even like started his base or his face. You can see some of it in the background here. Here's some progress I did on him. So I'll be picking this up probably next week in subsequent streams. That'll be the same time next week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Hope you all have a lovely week. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and hanging out tonight. It's been fun. We've had some good chats. Always like to hear what everyone's working on. Thoughts on new models and all that cool stuff. We have fun here. But yeah. I think I'm going to call it a night. We got a new video coming out this week. Stay tuned for that. If you don't want to miss that, be sure to subscribe. But new videos usually come out every other week. Usually on Fridays. But I do have a real full-time job, so sometimes that schedule is intermittent, but I do try to stick to it as best I can. But streaming is pretty consistent, so that's usually every week on Tuesdays. But we are all done for tonight. I got these based. Just gonna let this dry, and then I'll do a wash and clean up the rim and everything. But these guys are pretty much done. I am happy. I can breathe a sigh of relief that these are going to be ready for the tournament on Saturday. It's going to be great. Alright. Well, y'all have a wonderful evening. Catch you next time. Bye, everybody.